This is our land, our soil.
These Christian militiamen have just come home after 2 years in forced exile. They have decided to mark their return with a symbolic gesture.
I'm going to put the cross on the church. Watch this, Daesh. I'm going to put it on the church.
All the Christians who lived in these villages around Mosul were forced out by the Islamic State group. Many were killed. These men have formed the Nineveh Plain Forces in January 2015. Their militia claims to have enrolled 500 fighters, mainly Assyrian Christians.
Our aim is to defend our land. We must never relive what we have just been through with Daesh. Our people are scattered. Some of our children are dead. We had to live in tents. Now I want to send a message to my people. Bartella is liberated.
Islamic State group militants have desecrated the church. Practically all Christian symbols have been destroyed.
Such destruction is not tolerable. No one can accept this. No religion can justify this. These terrorists have no religion. This is the house of God. It is not a military building.
For these men, the liberation of Bartella is only a first step. Mosul will have to be reconquered and secured before they can consider bringing their families back.
Deputies say a homeowner shot and killed a masked man who broke into his house early this morning in Goldsboro. It happened on Little River Drive around 4:15 this morning. Deputies say the homeowner and his family were asleep when their alarm was activated. They say the suspect held a gun on the homeowner before the two got into some kind of struggle. Later, the suspect was shot with his own gun. That man was taken to the hospital where he later died. He has not been identified. Neighbors tell CBS North Carolina this should be a wake-up call, saying if anyone else comes, they'll get the same results. Deputies say charges are not expected against the
Bristol man is locked up tonight accused of killing another man. Police say 35-year-old Chad Couture shot and killed 63-year-old Daniel Caron around 5 o'clock last night in a driveway on Woodland Street. They're trying to figure out what led up to the shooting. Tonight, Couture is being held on a $500,000 bond. He's charged with first-degree manslaughter.
A new video from overnight coming into the ABC 15 newsroom of this massive fire out of Ontario, California. The flames burning all day and night. This is happening at a recycling plant. We're told burning hay and dozens of wooden pallets there. This is about 35 miles east of L.A. At one point, the flames even jumped the train tracks, threatening homes nearby. We saw neighbors trying to water down their fences just in case. Air quality now a concern in this region.
Man and woman accused of stealing from a Phoenix Fry's store and threatening the security officer. Police say the two walked into the store at 30th Street and Thomas this past June and walked out without paying for their items. When an officer approached the two, the man pulled out a box cutter and then the two took off on foot. If you have information about either of these crimes, you're urged to call Silent Witness at 480-WITNESS.
15 breaking news.
And we have those breaking stories for you right now. We start in West Phoenix, a helicopter spotlight, part of the search for two carjacking suspects.
This is near I-10 and 27th Avenue. We dispatched our crews as soon as we got word. Police say a woman tricked a man, which allowed her two accomplices to take a car at gunpoint.
ABC 15's John Erickson with an update on the scene near 27th Avenue and the I-10. And John, what can you tell us? What's the latest out there?
Stephanie and Kim, right now the search is going on in this area for two men who carjacked another man tonight. As far as the car that was carjacked, here it is, this white Mercedes right over here. Police say a man was in that car in a bank when a woman distracted him, tricked him somehow, and then two men popped out of nowhere. They were armed. They took the car and off they went. They ended up bailing out of the car right here. Police still searching for them at this hour. Police do have the woman in custody, still searching for those two men. Luckily in this case, no one was hurt. We'll update you as we learn more, guys.
John, thank you. Next, Air 15.
Starting off with that big news, a Nevada officer-involved shooting has ties to the valley. Troopers there say they've ID'd a man shot by cops after a high-speed pursuit. ABC 15's Chris Groh joining us live here in the studio with the very latest on this. Chris?
Kim, that man shot and killed by troopers outside Vegas has been identified as 28-year-old Javier Munoz from Glendale. Now, this all happened Wednesday. Initial reports say that Munoz stole a car and started driving erratically and fast, hitting other drivers on the freeway. Now, this whole time, Nevada Highway Patrol was in pursuit. Now, this high-speed chase ending at a Cadillac dealership where cops say that Munoz then tried to steal another car, this time from an elderly couple. That's when troopers shot and killed Munoz. Witnesses there described the chaotic scene to our sister station, saying Munoz was only driving on rims.
He hit that curb, and I knew he was trying to run from something, because nobody in their right state of mind or just normal state of mind would just jump a curb.
Now we're trying to get more info on Munoz and his time here in Glendale. As for the officer who fired his weapon, Nevada Highway Patrol ID'd him as 17-year veteran David Dudley. Kim, back to you.
All right, Chris, thanks for that update. Starting off with that big news, a Nevada officer-involved shooting has ties to the valley. Troopers there say they've ID'd a man shot by cops after a high-speed pursuit. ABC 15's Chris Groh joining us live here in the studio with the very latest on this. Chris?
Kim, that man shot and killed by troopers outside Vegas has been identified as 28-year-old Javier Munoz from Glendale. Now, this all happened Wednesday. Initial reports say that Munoz stole a car and started driving erratically and fast, hitting other drivers on the freeway. Now, this whole time, Nevada Highway Patrol was in pursuit. Now, this high-speed chase ending at a Cadillac dealership where cops say that Munoz then tried to steal another car, this time from an elderly couple. That's when troopers shot and killed Munoz. Witnesses there described the chaotic scene to our sister station, saying Munoz was only driving on rims.
He hit that curb, and I knew he was trying to run from something, because nobody in their right state of mind or just normal state of mind would just jump a curb.
Now we're trying to get more info on Munoz and his time here in Glendale. As for the officer who fired his weapon, Nevada Highway Patrol ID'd him as 17-year veteran David Dudley. Kim, back to you.
All right, Chris, thanks for that update.
Pima Community College police have released this sketch of the man who tried to abduct a woman from the West Campus. He's described as a black man in his 20s, 6 feet tall and 170 pounds. Police say he tried to force a woman into a small, gray, possibly four-door vehicle with tinted windows. Anyone with information is asked to call PCC police. Tucson police looking for an armed robber who hit up a donut shop. TPD says the suspect went into the Krispy Kreme on Broadway and Craycroft and demanded money from the register. He's described as a white or light-skinned Hispanic man with long black hair. He left the store with an undisclosed amount of money. Anyone with information is asked to call.
Also breaking overnight, police are investigating a shooting in East Tulsa. Around 10:30 last night, police found a victim with a gunshot wound near 31st and Garnett. Police say that two suspects followed the victim and his friend. Then the suspects tried to rob them. Police say one suspect allegedly took out a gun and shot the victim. The victim's wounds are not life-threatening. The suspects are still on the run this morning.
Police continue investigating Friday's deadly officer-involved shooting in Midtown. Just 24 hours ago, a man was shot and killed by police while wielding a knife. A cell phone caught the entire incident on video. 2 Works V reporter Corley Peel tells us why police chose to use lethal force. Corley?
Corey, police tell me they had to open fire to stop the threat after a man wielding a knife on Utica wasn't complying with demands. Officers say they followed protocol to keep the suspect from harming innocent people.
The police did ask him to stop, and he wouldn't stop.
Daniel Gray says he was standing near Utica Street Friday night when shots rang out. He says he watched a homeless man get shot by a Tulsa police officer.
I seen the police following this homeless guy up the street. The police was in the middle of the lane. The guy was up on the sidewalk. Then he tried to cross over, and that's when the police got out of his car and started tased him twice and then shot him 3 times.
This cell phone video taken by a witness shows how the shooting played out. Police say the suspect refused to listen to police after they asked him multiple times to put down his knife.
We came upon him. He's walking in the street. We got out of our car. We honk our horn. We tell him to stop. We tell him to drop the knife. He doesn't do any of those things. He continues to be aggressive with the knife in the middle of the street. Not normal behavior.
Sergeant Walker says police tased the suspect, and when those efforts failed, an officer opened fire, hitting the suspect.
There's a lot of people around. An innocent person does not need to be stabbed. We don't need to be stabbed. So at that point, they decided there's only one option, and that's the lethal force.
Gray says although he saw the man ignore police orders, he wishes the situation ended differently.
Well, the officer deserves to get what he gets, you know, because it ain't right to shoot a man if the man's walking away.
Officials say this is TPD's 6th officer-involved shooting this year. Corley Peel, 2 Works for You.